Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my August 2024 book haul. I have 4 books to share with you today, and they all have interesting origin stories involved in them. Well, I'm probably doing a little bit of heavy lifting, but I do have some tales to tell about how I acquired them, so I will go ahead and organize this from least interesting tale to most interesting tale. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first book I have is a literary journal, actually. It's the Ocean State Review, Volume 13, Number 1, which I acquired by renewing my subscription to Journal of the Month. Journal of the Month is this subscription, and I'll link to it down below, where people who are interested in literary journals have the option of sampling a few of them. And you have different subscription models, and you get sent a random literary journal, every month or every quarter, which is the way I've been doing it. And I'm excited about it because it's a way to more easily attain this literature. And I also use these literary journals in my AM reading videos, and I start each AM reading video by reading and discussing a short story. And that's why I recently renewed my subscription, because I was running out of literary journals, and I wanted to, have more for the future. Of course, this means I have to get back to my AM reading videos, which I've put on pause through September, but I do hope to be getting back to them in October. The next books are a twofer. They really go together in a way. This is The Lost Puzzler and The Puzzler's War. Both are by Eyal Kless. But I got them separately from one another. One of them has been on my Goodreads list for long enough that it got to the top of my Goodreads, and that's a goal I have every year, to clear the top of my Goodreads list. And it also fit in quite nicely with Sci-Fi September, where I try to read some sci-fi, particularly by Jewish authors, and an Israeli author in this case. And so I had one of his books on my TBR, and I decided I'd try. I'm hoping to get to both of these books this month. They are a little chunky, but hopefully they'll be exciting and move quickly. But I went ahead and buying them to see if I could, find them used from used bookstores. And I was able to find the first book, The Lost Puzzler, through Pango Books. Pango Books is a online store where U.S. Readers can buy and sell their used books. And I have my own store there, which I'll link down below, although unfortunately I can't send anything to people outside of the US. But if you are in the US and are looking for used books, I'll link to my own store down below. And I've also accrued, or I had accrued, a little bit of an income through, selling a couple books. And so I was excited that somebody was, selling this book. And so I went ahead and I bought this one on Pango, and then this one I went ahead and I bought on Abe Books, because that's where it was available. And so it does mean these books are, technically in a series together, but they are also slightly different in that, this is a used book that probably someone bought from a bookstore, and this one used to be a library acquisition. But in either case, they are from the same series, 2 sci-fi books. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to them in September, and I guess I'll just go ahead and maybe tease the synopsis of the first book. There's a world full of puzzles. Some will simply challenge the mind, others will unlock riches, and some, well, not all puzzles are games. More than 100 years have passed since the catastrophe brought humanity to the brink of extinction. Those who survived are changed. The Wilderners have reverted to their old beliefs, but with new gods, while others place their faith in the technology that once powered their lost civilization. In the mysterious city of Towers, the center of the destroyed Tarakan Empire, a lowly scribe of the Guild of Historians is charged with a dangerous assignment. He must venture into the wilds beyond the glass and steel towers to discover the fate of a child who mysteriously disappeared more than a decade before. Born of a rare breed of marked people, this child, Rafik, known as the Key, was one of a special few with the power to restore this lost civilization to glory once again. In a world riven by fear and violence, where tattooed mutants, manic truckers, warring guilds, and greedy mercenaries battle for survival, Rafik may have single-handedly destroyed humanity's only chance for salvation, unless the scribe can figure out what happened to him. So yeah, well, I feel like that final sentence is a little bit confusing, but basically we need the scribe to sort of get things going, and Rafik might have the magic answers, and it's kind of interesting. I think you can tell from the setting that it's like a little bit dystopian and sort of, yeah, in the sci-fi meld, but it does feel like, you know, reclaiming lost glory is a little bit more of a fantastical conceit. Or maybe it's more of a medieval conceit, which, you know, has powered so much of fantasy. But anyway, in either case, I'm looking forward to this. But speaking of sci-fi and staying with sci-fi, my last book has the most interesting origin story for myself. This is The Mercy of Gods by James S. A. Corey. This book has been on my anticipated reads list, or I think I mentioned it in my mid-year check-in video, freak-out video. It recently came out, and in fact, I went ahead and I was able to see, you know, the two authors who are James S. A. Corey. They stopped by the National Book Festival, and I made a video, and they're in that video, and I'll link it down below. And so I ended up buying this because I wanted to get it signed by them. But I ended up buying it a little early. Usually when I go to the National Book Festival, I wait until I'm there on site and I buy from the bookseller partner, which is Politics and Prose, a very well-known, still indie, but big indie bookstore in DC. But I was a little bit hesitant this year if I'd, you know, be able to buy the book easily on site. It turned out that the book fest was completely mobbed and it would be difficult to maybe find the time to get it on site. And then also, almost randomly or serendipitously, some friends invited me out the week before to go to another DC bookstore, East City Books, which I'll link down below, which was having a sale. And so I decided, well, why not just get it there and even knock off a couple bucks too, and definitely have it on site to, you know, get signed. So that was a fortuitous turn of events. So then, yeah, fast forward a week later, and I went to the book fest, and I stood in this really long 2-hour line to get this book signed by Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank, who are the two authors, very popular authors. And oh my gosh, my feet were killing me like nothing I feel like I've ever experienced before. I guess this is a curse of middle age or something, or just how silly it is to, you know, basically be standing almost still for 2 hours. And so, I mean, by the end, I even had to like sit down for a little bit on the floor just before I finally got to like the final part of the line. And I was literally hobbling to them when I finally got to them in line. And I was debating like pithy lines that I ultimately didn't say. We had like the most, you know, inane couple of words with one another where I said, "Thank you for coming," and I think Daniel Abraham said, "No, thank you for coming," and Ty Frank said, "We got a lot of people back there, don't we?" So yeah, so anyway, but it was really nice to get the signature, which is right here, but as I was walking away, alas, I realized they didn't personalize it, which was, I think, the intent. I mean, you see here I have my Post-it with my name on it, but I feel like by that point, it was so late in the game. They'd been signing for 2 hours. They had to get to their own panel soon after that, and there were plenty of people behind me, so alas, I think my personalized inscription was sacrificed to those ends. But it turns out, and as they were flipping the pages, I realized there was already another signature. So here's the signature they gave me at the book fest. But then on this page, is this another signature from them? I mean, which makes me wonder, did they go to East City Books and put this in randomly in the book before I bought it? Or maybe they signed it at a warehouse, or like a bunch of books at a warehouse, possibly. It's really surprising to me, it's shocking to me, and like I guess there's irony that in place of getting one inscribed signature, I get two signatures by both of them. And in any case, I'll still just have the fun memories of being able to meet them at the book fest, and I have the book now, and actually I am in the middle of reading it right now, and I think it's a promising start to a series which is about humanity being overtaken by a malevolent alien race, and maybe hopefully about our ability to survive that. So I'll be checking back soon with my thoughts overall about the book. And that about covers it for me now. I will also leave the Goodreads links for all of these books listed down below. And we are continuing to trundle into September, so expect me back here hopefully very soon for my August reading wrap-up video, and then I can, get into more September content. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I hope you are enjoying all of your books, no matter your origin stories about how you acquired them. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.